What is good, rookies? Welcome to our round 18, 17 team update. I don't even know what round it is anymore. But again, not many trades to do, not many things to change up other than just reviewing how we went. So this week we got a 23.55, which at the time I thought was actually going to be quite a horrible score. And then I started seeing other scores and it actually wasn't too bad. And ended up resulting in us seeing some green arrows, which we haven't seen for a while. So that's good. Still not under 20K, still outside the 10%, top 10%. But at this stage, if I can finish within the top like 30K, I think I'll be quite happy. So it just means about maintaining a few things. Obviously, there's been a lot of carnage going on over the last week. Like this round that just passed has caused so much carnage, not only in the round, but for rounds to come, where we've got Rankin and Heaney and Gorn out this coming round, which is absolutely crazy. But we're going to quickly jump into a quick review of the team. Not too much to go over. I'm sure, like a lot of you, I think the VCCs were just really hard to pinpoint this week. I think a lot of us, I know a lot of people had a really good and safe VC on merit. And definitely was a coin flip for us on if we were going merit or Dacos. We unfortunately went Dacos, who, just wasn't there, which was not good. So missed out on the VC on merit, but again, ultimately really, really happy to have merit in our team. This is the whole reason why we brought him in. I'm not going to go over too many things. Holmes had a down game. Houston's had two back-to-back down games. Ridley came good. And Martin is definitely averaging around that 98 to 102 score point, which if he can maintain that, I'm actually not too mad. It is what it is. Bont had a quiet game. I know a few people would have captained him, but still 106 in this type of round is actually a pretty safe score. Flanders keeps his ton streak going. Butters and Rosie had an amazing game. They just absolutely destroyed. Still wondering why I never considered either of them as a captaincy or vice captaincy or whatever. But in hindsight, you just want to make sure that I don't know. I didn't think about it. I don't know why. Frustrating. So this moving into this week, this round, VCs are gonna. I might play things a little bit differently and not go with the pack and just actually have a look and see what could be happening. But our trade-in from Clark to McKercher worked beautifully. We can see McKercher got a 134. I think this is definitely a bumped up number given Fisher is out. I don't think McKercher is going to be like achieving this very often. I think he's still going to be averaging maybe 90 to 100 for sure, so long as Fisher can keep his role because we don't. I mean, like, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, McKercher debut amazing. Really, really good for the trade-in. We unfortunately left a few points on bench, which is really, really unfortunate. We had Mana, or Mana, however you want to pronounce his name, pop off for a 118. Who would have thought that this kid would do what he's been doing in the VFL at the AFL level? He just cooked. It was amazing to see. Absolutely amazing to see. So that's really good. I need to try and swing him down into the forward line, but there's also, with all the carnage going on, we're going to have to be really creative about how we want to structure our team, if we use our last trade or not, or if we just kind of hold because there's a fair bit of carnage going. So with that said, our rucks, we have Gorn, who scaled his way up to 100. So again, if you captain him, at least you got 100. We got an 84 on our captaincy score. So Wrong, who out of nowhere, out of the woodwork, it just gets absolutely fucking tagged, which is not good. But like you can't really predict these things sometimes. I could not predict Hutchinson's outscoring Sexton, Curnow, and McMullen. Like what? Let alone Dowling outscoring them all too. There's if you look between Dowling, Maynard, and Hutchinson, there's a lot of points on the bench that we left. Which is unfortunate, but these are rookies. Like it's a rookie roulette. You'd expect Kerno to do more. McMullen, I honestly expected more from him. He wasn't named sub. I don't know if he got subbed out of the game. Let's see what his minutes were. So he played the full game and only got 38. Like that's horrendous. That is horrendous. Like the 65 from 84 was good. Like this is what I was looking for, like a 60 cover and then Hutchinson goes off for 74. Like, and Dowling's just doing Dowling things. He's proving it at least. His floor at the moment is 55. Like that's such a good cover. I need to get him or Maynard down to cover. But look at this, amazing stuff. Amazing, 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 amazing. Like just what a weapon he is. Anyway, Jackson, good. He's been a really good hold. Darcy will be out for concussion this week. I think they come up against Sydney. Who they come up against? Freo. Hawthorn. So he'll be coming up against Meek. So be interesting to see what happens there. I think Meek will actually have a really good game against Jackson. Hopefully Jackson still has a good game, but having this, like Jackson is like the unsung hero of this round because him and Heaney were the only things holding our forward line together, just like Ridley was the only thing holding together our back line. Only 1 ton from our back line, which is unfortunate. Holmes, again, the quiet game behind that, I think Stewart's kind of taken over that midfield role. It's been 2 weeks now. Stewart's been pushed into the midfield, and he's actually playing really well. As someone who like follows the Cats and kind of goes for the Cats, I go for like the Dons and Cats. Like you can probably see that from the team construction, but it's concerning as a Holmes owner. But it's also really good to see Stewart in the midfield. I think he actually played. Had a very impactful role in that midfield role, and he excelled at it last week. So yeah, I think Holmes will bounce back. I don't think this is going to be the tale of the rest of the season. I think they're still going to experiment. But I still think Stewart's going to get attention because if he's going to have that impactful role and he's in the midfield, he's going to get more attention than if he was at the halfback. So you never know. You never know. But cool. What do we do from here? Where are we moving? Who's the concern? So the 3 major concerns here are Rankin, Heaney, and Gawn. So Rankin has been suspended for, I think, 4 weeks, 4 matches. That might get challenged. Unsure. I haven't checked anything just yet. Last night, I think it was said it was going to challenge. Gawn possibly out for 2 to 3 weeks. He's trying to speed that up and get back in 1. So hopefully only miss the 1 game, but you never really know. Heaney, unfortunate, got copped with the 1 match ban, challenged it and lost with no chance to appeal, which is absolutely crazy given like the Butters, the Hogan, like I don't understand the state of the AFL at the moment when it comes to anything at this point. I think the AFL is in shambles when it comes to rulings and how they're dealing with these certain situations. Supercoach aside, like it is just ruining the game. Like he's now lost, Brownlow contention because of it, and it wasn't even intentional. Webster was well underneath chest. Like it actually stings. Like I don't even like support Sydney, let alone love Heaney. But like fuck, that's really stiff. So what are we going to do? So we've got 2 players that we're going to miss this week. So we're going to miss Gawn. We're going to miss Heaney. I don't see or hear of any news of Heaney coming back. And we've also got the Fish. So reports are Fish is doing well. He was at training on the weekend or Monday morning, which is great. So I'm hoping he's back. So we're going to bring him on field and just hope that he's back. So we're going to cover Gawn with Jackson. We're going to bring the Fish on. I think we have to keep Sexton. Gold Coast and West Coast don't play till Sunday. So it's really going to depend on who's named sub. Because I know Sexton's role is just really not impactful at all. He's not getting a lot of the ball. His DE wasn't great. I think we're going to have to keep him on. But Greater West Sydney against Richmond, I just need to know like subs. So like Sunday is going to be really tricky, and it's going to really determine what happens here. Because at this stage, I'm going to bring in Maynard down in for Heaney because he's going to be off. So I can switch Maynard in. There's no way he doesn't get named again, given everything that he's just had. All right. I love it when you get a phone call halfway through. What we were talking about was how we're going to cover, what we're going to do with regards to Gawn and Heaney. So we're hoping Fish comes back. We're going to swing good old Maynard down into our forward line. I don't see an instance where he does not named again and gets the minutes he got. He wasn't sub. They'd be absolutely ridiculous to put him as sub again after his performance. So I think it's a safe bet to put him on as cover. Whether we go McMullen, Sexton, or Hutchinson is really dependent on whose names. It's really unfortunate that West Coast are playing absolutely last, and we won't know until the Greater West Sydney start. But they are playing Richmond, so I really hope Sexton can bring it together. He was playing North. I meant to have a better game. Didn't happen. Um, I can't really get Dowling down. I'd love to get Dowling down as cover, but that's not really going to happen. Ideally, what the move could be is we potentially trade McMullen in for and we get Dowling down and we get in Humphreys, for example. Not a great trade. We're not upgrading or anything, but we're just making some more movements in cover. This way, when the time comes, we can bring Heaney back down here. We can bring Jackson back. And then, we've got Maynard and Sexton to loop, basically. And even Hutchinson, depending on the fixture. But at this stage, this is what we're kind of looking at. I'm reluctant to trade out anything given the carnage. I think this is a week with all the carnage, unless you're going to cop a donut. I think you're okay to not do anything. If you obviously need to make gain, or if you're in the top 100, I think it's a slightly different play. But yeah, I'm not sure if I want to use a trade just to get McMullen out, because McMullen could definitely have a game. He could have a good game. If his name's sub, it is what it is. Again, they play on Sunday, so it's a bit unfortunate because I won't be able to do the trade up to Humphreys or trade down to Humphreys, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's just really, really unfortunate. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, team sheets are going to be very dependent on what we do. If any one of these guys are dropped, they're instantly getting the boot. Like if McMullen's dropped or if Sexton's dropped, they're getting the boot. If we were to trade out Sexton, for example, there's not really too many people we can get other than like a Mackay or a Myers. I don't really want to pick up a Hogan. This is a nice bum score, but if we look at his season stats, they're not anything to rave about. He's only got a handful of tons, and he's got a ceiling of 143, which we can see now, a 165, which was nuts. But he's got a floor of 30. That's nuts. It's unfortunate. Myers potentially. He's only in 2% of teams. We were looking at Cameron. Probably should have gone Cameron. He had a really good game, but didn't end up doing any of that, and got McKercher instead, which I still think we could have done both. And I think we would have been well better off. But yeah, you can't really predict. Suns against North. They should have won. They should have played a lot better than what they did, and they didn't. Myers doesn't look that great. I don't really like the pick. If we look at average, don't like Waterman. We could potentially get Harley Reid back in. He's clearly got a ceiling that we've seen. He's averaging, what's his 3-round average at the moment? 3-round average 75. It's not the worst. He's actually consistent. So it could be a better trade in. Bolton could also be a shout if we're looking at forward options, but we do know what Bolton's like. It's a bloody yo-yo and roller coaster all the same. Again, he's got a floor of 30. So it's another Hogan type pick, but it's Richmond. You just don't know. I'm not going Baker. I'm not going Papley. I don't know if I can stomach having another Essendon player on my team, but they're also in really good form at the moment. But we've seen the floor 19, 39, 45, only a ceiling of to 123. I think I'd be more comfortable going a Bolton over Langford. Kennedy looks okay. Around with Hollands. I'm not sure if I can even get Hollands in. The averages are looking pretty good. His last 3 have been quite good scores. It looks like it's maintaining form. His ceiling this season though is not really there. It's a 116, but really we're just looking for consistent 80s or 90s just to help, basically not do completely horrible. Especially when we've got someone like Kerno who's putting out 33. But, he's not getting, like, complete like, you imagine this would have been a ton if he had more minutes. Um, like, his minutes are 25, barely played. He's actually when he's got a full game in him, other than Richmond, he's actually done pretty well. Like, the 37 is probably the worst game. He's not too bad. He's probably one of the more ideal picks I'd go. Toby Green could be a shout. Peter Wright, no. Dempsey, maybe. Like, Dempsey's been carrying, but does this form stick? Like, he's actually a pretty impactful player at the moment with the Cats. He's gone 122, 50, 99, 104, 96. Do we just get him in? Like, do we just put him in like 5? I wouldn't even touch. Like, he's lost form. He's old. He's probably going to get rested. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. He was going to be a bit of a pick. Elijah Hollands, I was looking at bringing him in, and I'm glad I didn't. But he's gone. Look at these 4 scores, and then pulled out a 61. Like, he could 100% turn it around. He still could be a decent pick, but there's like really no one else. Like 3-round average, Dempsey, Kennedy, Lob. No, I don't. I'm not interested. Pickett, nah. Like, there's really no one else. Well, it's like, cool. All right, well, what else do we have here? I mean, let's bring Flanders down, for example. What do we got in the midfield? Bose is actually an interesting pick. I actually don't mind the Bose pick, simply because of the ceiling this kid can have. Like, he's got a floor of like 36 if he plays a full game. He's not getting all the right minutes, but like, he can pop off, and it looks like he's getting games. So I actually don't mind the Bose pick. In regards to defense, decoding could actually be a pick, but with Stanley, Blitzker, Blitzkers, and not really understanding what Geelong are doing with their rucks, he's been getting involved. He's had some really, really big games of late. Like, but it's more these other scores here. Like a 77, 64, 69, a 34. But then, like, these last couple of weeks, like, he's just had some spike scores. Like, are they trying something different for the rest of the season? I don't know. It's a bit of a risk at this tail end of the season, so I'm not entirely comfortable doing that. We're almost at 20 minutes. We are getting into VCs very shortly. Vlosten is actually probably one I'm considering, just as like a 90 average. Like, again, someone like a Martin to sit in there to get around 90. Vlosten or Short. I need Brad. I need Supercoach Pro to tell me who to pick out of those, because they're the only real people I'm considering in the back line. Sard was looking like a good pick, but it's just not working out. There's really no one else. Like, Mac Andrew has a decent. Aiden Core could be a shout. I know a lot of North people love him, but the Supercoach, he's not really Supercoach relevant. Like, there's no one really else. Like, the average in general is going Vlosten's way, which I don't mind the Vlosten pick at all, but that's our last trade. The one thing I do want to actually look at is, if we cancel this, let's have a look at players. Have a look at break evens, and we're just going to do the opposite to see who's about to lose a lot of money. So Houston's about to go down. Grundy's about to go down in cash. LDU about to go down. Anyone else? Because we would have 430-ish to work with. So if we put our cash at 460, there's really no one here that we're going to be looking at that's really worth it. Don't think so. Let's change this filter a little bit. So this is something I like to do when I'm looking at, especially when it comes to when you have low trades, is do you pull the trigger now or do you wait? Can you get more value for your cash if you just wait? Norton, I wouldn't go near. Dawson's about to lose cash. There's a potential chance we can pick up Dawson if he keeps tanking it, actually. That could be a play, because he's about to lose. He's got a 136. He's about to lose 25K. If he pays poorly again, we could potentially wait and see if we can flick a Dawson in. That could be it. Because ideally, Duke's going to be out, so that's not worth looking at. Who else have we got here? Hawkins is done for the season. Yeah, there's no one really else here that's worth considering. I'm not getting Rowell in. That's disgusting. Hayden Young, he's probably going to keep money. Yeah, Dawson could be a shout just to get that Primo back in. Then I'd be trading him back in. That'd be scary. Stringer, I actually don't mind as a pick either. I think he's got a bit more consistency than Langford. Obviously got Parrish that's potentially returning. Short's going to go down in cash as well. I don't think Short's reaching his break even, but we'll see. We'll see it. As I said, team sheets will really depend, but Dawson could be a potential shout if we hold. Let's say because I know Sexton's going to lose more cash, so if he scores another, he's going to go down to cash. So that's the only bad thing here is if we need a trade, we probably need a trade this week. So we'll see what team sheets give us, and then we'll pretty much go from there. But we're not looking great. I'll put it that way. Not looking great at all. Very scary. Very scary times. Anyway, in regards to VC and C options for this round, we're just going to go through the games and see potentially. Dacos, if you still have faith in the man, you could chuck a VC on him against Geelong. They're actually becoming quite a stronger midfield now. Like, I think we used to think you could get a fair few points off the mids from Geelong. I don't think that's the case anymore. There's a chance he gets attention too if they get like O'Connor in, or send Atkins to him, which I think they'll probably do. I think they'll send Atkins to Dacos, and Atkins shut down Merritt out of all people. So I think there's better VC options than Dacos, especially if he gets the attention. I want to do a really silly thing in VC Holmes. I think he's going to have a bounce back game and pop off, but the chances of that happening if the role sticks with Stewart, not likely. Could do it though. That's all I'd be really considering from Geelong and Collingwood. You could do a Stewart. Can't remember if Collingwood have a tag. But Stewart could definitely cop attention in some way or form. But there could be a chance for Stewart VC if you're feeling ballsy. If we got Fremantle and Hawthorn, Ryan Sarong could still be a shout. I think, I don't know how well Ryan's gone against. I think Ryan's due for a big game. So I think we're all just kind of waiting for it. You could potentially chuck it on Ryan as a VC or Sarong. I don't think Sarong's done pretty well actually against Hawks, but Hawks are in pretty good form at the moment. I dare say if you want an early VC, for example, like Sydney, without Heaney, you could probably go Goulden. I think Goulden would probably be a really good shout actually for a VC without Heaney. I think Goulden will get more mid-time and get off the wing. So if you got Goulden, I'd definitely be leaning into a Goulden VC first and foremost. If you're wanting to do like a Saturday, Sunday split, then I think Bont, is still going to be, I think he's always going to be a great pick. I think next week you have to captain him or VC in Geelong. But I think he's still going to be a great captaincy. If you're looking, I don't know who you would do on Sunday. Maybe like Tom Green could be a potential captaincy, like out of the woodworks. Was it like a backup? Zorks, Neil, Dunkley on Brisbane. If you want to captain them, we don't have any of those fellas. Oh, we got Zorks. What's Zorks doing? Where are they playing? OS, off the stadium. Not great. Not great. But yeah, so Gordon, good VC shout. I think because I don't have Gordon, I have Sarong. I'm going to VC Sarong. Do I fade Bont again against Carlton? I don't know. There's all chances he pops off again. Like he's gone 135. Oh, I think we just have to. I think we have to VC Bont. We've been missing out on so many. So we're going to VC Bont. It's going to be the week that Strong pops off too. Absolute dogs. Like 140, 105, 127, 112, 105, 155. That was back in 21. I actually think Sarong's actually a better VC. I'm going to regret doing that, but I'm going to lock in Sarong as a VC on Saturday. We're going to fade Bont against Carlton. Who else could you go? You could go with Cripps. Cripps has been in really, really good form. Could potentially go Walsh. Maybe a Dale. I'm not sure if Dale will be doing well. I'm not sure what Richards is doing. Good old Ed Richards. Ultimately, I'd be probably, if I was to really look at anything, the only three people I'd be considering, I don't even think I would be considering English, especially if he's coming up against TDK. TDK's in great form, is much younger, is not afraid to get physical, whereas we've seen English being quite shy, taking on a bit of physicality in the ruck. So I think English is actually going to struggle, especially if it's up against TDK solo. Whether they do the two rucks at Carlton is up for debate, but you never know. But yeah, so I'd be looking at essentially TDK, Cripps, and Walsh as a VC if you're still looking for Saturday, and then a Bont from Bulldogs, from Adelaide and St Kilda. If you have like a Laird, for example, you could do a VC on Laird. I don't know about Dawson. The tag's gone from like Windhanger's injured, so Dawson could have a bounce back game. I don't want him to because then his price will plummet, and then we could potentially grab him up, a bit like a Sexton potentially if we hold. But we'll see. We'll see. What else we got? We've got, because the idea here is they got a 110 game. If we can see that Sexton is like sub or he's on bench or whatever it may be, we might just flick him to Boston and just call it a season. But yeah, I think Dawson, I think Steele might have a good game. Sinclair is definitely an option. If you're looking to really be a Saints man, I think Sinclair is probably your best option from Saints. And Laird's probably your better option. How did Laird go actually? How did he go last week? 99. Yeah, he's been a good pickup if you picked him up after his bye. So I dare say you'd probably put more faith in Laird than Dawson at the moment. But again, Dawson could have a bounce back game. So there's always that possibility. Melbourne and Essendon. Got no Gorn. So you can't do anything with Gorn. I don't really know if there's anyone else, on Melbourne that you could potentially look at doing anything for VC or C. If you want to be really left field and you got Trent Rivers, you could potentially do that because he's been playing pretty well. Essendon wise, I think Merritt's always probably a safe one. What's Merritt's run against Melbourne? I think it's pretty ridiculous. 134, 147, 119. Oh, we could do a Sarong into Merritt. Because Sarong plays 145, and then I think that's what we might do. I think we'll trust Merritt. I don't know why I love Merritt. I'm putting the VC and C on him. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I don't think Bond's going 144, that's for sure. Maybe a Ridley. Don't know. I think Merritt's the safer bet out of any Essendon players. Hopefully Ridley gets at least a ton. Be bloody better. Gold Coast and Port without without Tuke, Rao's probably going to be playing a lot more mid. You might see that he bounces back. So if you got Rao, you're not jumping ship. Hopefully you see a good bounce back. You deserve it. Butters could 100% be a shout here. I'm not sure what his previous run is because they don't have Tuke. Tuke was their running tagger if they were tagging. He has not had a good run against Suns. What about Rosie? Oh, excuse me. No, I probably wouldn't go. Again, you look at this, and then you look at what they've been able to put out, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Richmond and Gold Coast, maybe a Whitfield, maybe a Green potentially. I don't know what Green's previous run in with Richmond. Yeah, not great. So maybe not. And then I think West Coast. I don't even think you look at any West Coast players. I think you just look straight for like Lockie Neal, Dunkley, or Zork. So that's what I'll be looking at for VCC options. I think we're going to go Sarong into Merritt. I don't really like any of the Sunday options. And we're just going to wait for team sheets to work out what we want to do with trades. So this is where we're at. We're either going down to 0 trades or holding it and hoping we can pick someone up who's about to drop off in price. But we'll see how we go. Hopefully Fisher's back. If Fisher's not, we're in trouble. So, with that said, guys, thank you all much for watching. I know this is about 30 minutes in, so if you've gotten this far, leave a like, hit subscribe. I will be releasing a video over the next couple of weeks, kind of reviewing the season because the season is almost kind of done at this point. And just kind of going through what I've learned as a first year, how my experience has been, how the community and you guys have been, and just my overall thoughts on and plans for next season. So I'm really keen to make that video. It's actually going to be quite a long video. I'm going to go quite in depth because I want to make it very informative and educational. And yeah, with that said, guys, let me know how you guys went. Let me guys know how many trades you got left first and foremost, because I want to be envious of you guys. And who are you VCing and seeing this week?